All right, so most handheld 3D scanners make you choose whether between detail and speed, or maybe it's portable, or it's very powerful but it's tethered to a computer. But this one seems to do it all, and that's the EinScan Rigil. You can go to visionminer.com and pick up your very own Rigil right now. Like say it is at the time of the release of this video, there is limited stock, so the pre-orders are going to go quick. But depending if you're seeing this a year from now, we probably got them in stock ready to go. So just give us a call or shoot us an email if you have any questions. We are here to help you. This is the latest and greatest scanner from Shining 3D, and it's priced very competitively. There's certain other scanners on the market that have been making a big splash, if you will, and this one is going head to head with those, and it's going to, frankly, well, it's blowing us out of the water. So we're here today with Eric Lau from Shining 3D to help us walk through this new machine. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Always a pleasure to have you here. So tell me, give me a quick synopsis. What's the deal with this new scanner?
Well, you touched on a couple points over there. So the EinScan Rigil is a unit that is kind of going head to head with some of the mid-price range scanners like the Raptor X or the Revopoint TrackScan. This scanner, as you can see, it's a wireless all-in-one 3D scanner that has both infrared LEDs and laser lines, which means that it can capture things very quickly outdoors, in the sun, reflective or dark objects, and it can also capture in high detail those complex mechanical parts that you want to get the best detail on for reverse engineering applications.
Yeah, when we first saw the specs, it was like, oh, this is like the HX2 and the H2 smashed into one, and then a little bit of Libre influence there with the wireless and tethered, and basically looking at the spec sheets, it almost is identical in specs to the HX2 and the H2, but in practice, the HX2 and H2 are a little more professional. They do gather more detail. They are a little faster. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. So I do want to clear this up a little bit. The H2 and HX2, they are capable of getting higher resolution data because the H2, you have white LED structure light projection. On the EinScan Rigil here, you have infrared V-cell projection. And with this technology, which is good for capturing medium to large objects really quickly, you're getting less detail with this type of light source compared to the white LED on the H2 or the blue LED on the HX2. And then we move towards to the HX2 laser lines versus the Rigil laser lines. The Rigil does have more laser lines than the HX2, but the HX2 has a larger field of view compared to the Rigil. So that means that you are able to capture a larger surface with the HX2 laser line mode, and that really helps when it comes to larger mechanical parts, like medium to large metal parts. You can get a lot more data with the HX2. And there's also the point to being tethered to the computer or being wireless. HX2 and the H2 are tethered to a computer, which means that it's using the power from your powerful computer to use the scanner. You're also benefiting from that as well with those two units.
Just the field of view makes a huge difference in scanning speed and tracking, right?
Exactly.
So if your field of view is, let's say, this big, then you have to have a number of scanners within that area versus, say, on the HX2. Maybe it's that big, then you can have those more spaced out or just have more reference points to be tracking with as you're going around objects.
Exactly.
So while the specs may match up, the difference is still there. At first, we were like, dude, why do we even have the HX2 or H2? And we're like, oh, okay, there are reasons. It does provide an advantage. But overall, for the price point and the package you get and the size of it, I mean, you could easily throw this in a small bag and go anywhere and scan anything in high detail, full color, totally wireless, process all the data like on your ride back home without having to even touch a computer. That's a big advantage.
Yeah, so this scanner, the Rigil, has 3 different modes. One is the completely all-in-one wireless 3D scanning, where you can capture objects outside, process that data on the scanner, and then send that data to our Shining 3D digital cloud, where anyone else, wherever they are, can sign into that account and download that file for what further processing or for reverse engineering or other future workflow. Nice. So it's a very versatile method of working where you can scan something and then you have someone else somewhere who can work on that data instantaneously. And then we have a second mode, which is the wireless mode with a computer. So in this mode, you can connect to your computer wirelessly and process the data on your computer for more processing power. Now we have a third mode, a wired mode. And you might be asking, why would we put a wired mode on this scanner when it's already so good wirelessly?
And you just like plugged in through the USB-C?
Yes, exactly. So
Right
there's a
there.
USB-C port over there. And the wired mode provides a benefit of being able to do markerless laser scanning. And that is something that is very difficult to do without markers.
Is that because, like, from my knowledge of the markerless laser scanning, it's actually projecting so many lasers that it's seeing the curvature of the lasers on the part and using that to track, as opposed to using markers, and that just takes a lot more processing power? Is that sort of?
No.
No.
It's similar. It is taking
Okay.
a lot of processing power, but what it's doing is it's actually using the infrared LEDs to track the location of the objects and then using the laser lines to capture that high detail from the objects.
Okay.
So it does require more processing power, and that's why it is wired to your computer.
Sort of using both modes at the same time.
Exactly.
And you double the.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So this unit, it's all in one. It's got all these different technologies. It's wireless, it's portable. Who is it really for? What problem is it really solving? What's the main thing you guys are like, hey, we need to make a scanner so people can do this?
If you followed us for a while, Shining 3D, you can see that we've had the HX2 scanner, which is geared toward the automotive industry. Because it has those laser lines, it's able to capture higher resolution data of those tricky reflective surfaces or black colored parts. And then we had a release of the EinStar Vega and the Libre, which are the wireless scanners that were very good to use out in the field and scan it very quickly from small to large objects. So this Rigil is a combination of that, where you have a unit that can scan out in the field very easily. It's a very versatile unit. From the size you can see, you have a lot of leeway in where you scan. If there's like any cavities or hard to reach locations that a bigger scanner like the HX2 or Libre might not be able to reach, you can use the scanner and capture those areas. So it's a very useful scanner in that it can scan outside in the sun with the infrared LEDs, which can scan reflective or dark surfaces with no issue. And you also have the laser mode, which can capture that higher resolution data on those mechanical parts for reverse engineering purposes.
Now, scanning out in the field can be a heck of a thing, especially quite literally. We get a lot of calls from agriculture machinery producers, and they literally have to go out into a field and scan something, and often they'll go at night or something like that. But to be able to go out in the day and still do something quickly is a big advantage. Now, in automotive especially, at a car show, even at a car shop, or there's a car part somewhere and you just need to scan it. You did this recently, and what was your experience like? Tell that story.
Yeah, we do this a lot, where we are asked to scan cars in the sun in 95 degree to 100 degree weather.
Yep.
And in that situation, the only thing you're thinking about is how I can do this as fast as possible so I can get out of there.
It's hot, you're carrying this heavy thing around.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what's in that situation you want is a scanner that's lightweight, that works very fast, and that does what you need quickly. That's what the Rigil is for a lot of people.
This is what, 2 pounds?
Yeah, like 2 pounds.
Right. Compared to something like the Artec Leo.
Exactly.
I mean, oh, dude, your arm's going to get tired. You're going to be dripping in sweat.
Exactly.
You're going to be sweating all over the device and the car.
Yep.
Okay.
Just imagine, we're going out in a field, and we want to scan a car or a large excavator or something like that.
Right.
And in those applications, you don't really need high detail. You just want to get something that can replace measuring it by hand, because you don't want to be going outside and using a tape ruler trying to figure out where everything is in 3D. So with the scanner, you can actually go out, take a minute, capture those areas Then you just send it up to the cloud, and your engineer 20 miles away, 100 miles away can download the file and then just start working.
So let's actually go back. You mentioned the word cloud. Some people are going to want to know, wait, does this upload all my scans to the shining cloud? And then are you just talking about transferring files via the internet?
There's two ways to do it. So there's one way. We do have a shining 3D cloud, which is on the scanner itself. So if you are connected to the internet or a hotspot from your phone, you can upload that scan data to our shining 3D cloud. And then someone elsewhere, they can enter in their information on our websites and then download that file. If you don't want to do that, if the information is proprietary, then what you can do is you can export that data to your computer. And then from your computer, you can upload it to your own server so that your company can download that file and work with it.
So to clarify, no, your scans aren't all being uploaded to the cloud, but it is a service and an option they offer that makes things more convenient.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about the lights real quick, the different technologies. So we've got lasers, blue lasers, we've got infrared V-cell projectors, and then we have obviously the color camera to pick up color.
Exactly.
There's multiple modes for the lasers. So you got the 7 lines and 19 crossed blue laser lines, right?
Yes.
One's more for just speed scanning, like all the crossed lines, you can just scan different things, whereas the 7 parallel lines, just like we saw come out on the FreeScan combo initially, those 7 lines get extremely high detail, right?
We have 3 different light sources on the scanner. We have the 19 plus 19 crossed laser lines. We have the 7 parallel laser lines. And then we have the infrared LEDs on this unit. And so let's go over each one. The 19 plus 19 cross laser lines is something that we see in the HX2.
Is that 38 laser lines?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 38 laser lines.
38 laser lines, yes. Yeah. So that is something that you see on the HX2 and FreeScan combo.
Yeah.
It's a very quick scan mode to capture data of objects.
No, they have more laser lines. Like I believe the Combo Plus has like 50 something. And
yes. So currently the HX2 has 26 laser lines.
26.
And the FreeScan combo has 50 laser lines.
Okay.
But we want to note here that even with that data, you are getting a larger field of view from those scanners.
Right.
So you are able to capture medium to large objects more quickly.
So better tracking, faster overall scanning still, but the same technology compressed.
Yeah. So with the Rigil, with the 38 laser lines, you're closer. The field of view is smaller, so you are closer to the objects, but you are able to capture those mechanical parts, reflective, dark surfaces very well. The main point of that is that you are getting very high quality data very quickly. A very unique point to the scanner is that you can actually switch from the 38 laser line to the 7 parallel laser line mode on the scanner in a second.
Nice.
Within the same projects. So you're scanning objects.
Without necessarily having to select an area like in partial HD mode?
Exactly.
So you don't have to select it.
You don't have to
select it. You just switch modes.
You just switch modes.
That's freaking sweet.
And you just start scanning that area that you want in higher resolution, and the software will do the editing for you to make that area higher resolution versus the other areas of the part that you don't care about that will be in lower resolution. And then we have the VSO infrared LEDs, which are meant to capture a lot of area very quickly when you don't need very high resolution. And that is something that is common because a lot of engineers, they just want data for space claim, something that just fills, that has somewhat accurate.
Is this going to fit in the space I'm putting in? Exactly. Or like you're scanning an engine bay, you don't need 0.5 millimeter resolution, you just need to know if the turbo is going to fit in that gap.
Exactly, if there's enough space within the other things that are there. So with the infrared V-cell mode, you're getting 0.1 plus 0.3 millimeters per meter. And that is very good for scanning engine bay or anything.
So it's a tenth of a millimeter, a fraction of a millimeter, and then the whole volumetric thing, this was something that confused me back in the day, but where you start, you go out a meter in any direction from that starting point, and then another meter from there is going to be plus or minus 0.3 actually. So if you're doing a whole car in that mode, you might want to scan it in sections and then align those together still?
It's best to do everything in one project actually.
Okay.
But if you are doing a full car, the exterior at least,
Yeah.
you do want to use markers because that's going to help you improve the accuracy.
Yeah, big flat surfaces and
All the big
whatnot.
flat
It's like,
surfaces.
it's very hard to tell. Well, am I here or am I here? It looks
Yeah.
the same. Yeah, okay.
There are ways to make that easier. You can use blue tape to create features on the car. You can always contact us to figure out what project you're doing. You can contact us to figure out what's the best way to do that too.
Even say this was head-to-head with something like the Raptor X. Even then, the comments you see all over the internet are just how good and how intuitive and streamlined the Shining 3D software has always been. And this has been since we started selling it 7-8 years ago. It's just intuitive. 1, 2, 3, 4. You go through the process. You get your scan. Anyone can learn to do it in 5 to 10 minutes without issue. So does this have the same features and the same workflows? It just sticking with the Shining 3D style?
The Shining 3D software has been our strength for a long time. We get comments about how easy it is to use and how good the user interface is a lot. We've improved on that by making it more efficient, again, and easier to use for scanning in the field. With the EinScan Rigil, you can cast wirelessly to your phone or your computer.
Wait, you can cast to your phone?
You can cast to your phone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so this scanner has its own Wi-Fi. So it has its own hotspot, which you can take your phone out, connect to the Wi-Fi on the scanner, and then you just enter the IP, and then you can control the scanner from your phone too.
That's freaking sweet. Or
Yeah.
like probably most smart TVs?
Yeah.
Just directly
Any-
to the TV.
Any smart TV.
So you don't even have to go through a computer with
Yeah,
a software program. You
exactly.
can just, it's a casting. We're in 2025, guys, of
Yeah.
course. Wow.
So
all
that's
right.
something that helps a lot when you're scanning an area that is hard to reach, where you have to point the scanner in a way that you can't see the screen. So you just cast the scanner screen to another device, and then you can look at that device while you're scanning.
So in the software workflow for processing your data, like, you know, you got the full thing on the computer, just like the HX, everything else, same software, right? But even on the unit itself, you can do, what, half the stuff, 90% of the stuff, everything the same?
You can pretty much do everything you need to make the mesh file, the STL file.
All the major functions.
Yeah, all the major functions,
Okay.
which is
Hold still for 1 second. Let me get some data to mess with here. Oh, dude, should we release this file for people? Oh, dude, this is, my gosh, live demonstrations. Give us a call. We sell all this stuff here at visionminer.com, and we will give you a live video demo if you're interested in buying one of these machines. We do have an allotment, so pre-order and get yours while you can. I expect these to go very quickly, and then there might be a wait after that. So give us a call, shoot us an email today. We are here to help and support you with all the Shining 3D products. Anyway, back to you, Eric. All
So
right,
one of
I
the
got
things that we put into our scanners, the H2 units and the EinStar units, is something called non-rigid algorithm. And that's something that helps when you're scanning people,
animals.
animals, anything that
Prosthetics.
moves, exactly.
Interesting, okay.
This scanner has that as well, where when you scan something, even if they breathe or they move a little bit, the scanner is able to find its place and continue scanning. And if you do mess up, if the scanner does mess up where it does capture data where it's not supposed to be and they're kind of overlaid on top of each other, we have a rewind function where you can rewind to a part of the scan that the person hasn't moved, and then you can save that or just continue scanning from there as well.
Wonderful feature. Dude, I remember there's so many times when I'd be scanning somebody and I'm going and I'm like, all right, don't move. And then like they shift or they like, you know, move their feet or something. And I'm like, oh no, I got 2 eye sockets on the guy now. And then you have no choice but to restart the entire scan.
Yeah.
Or really meticulously try and go in there and try to remove just the second layer on the dude's cheekbone or something because it doubled up and looks crazy when you go to 3D print it or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus just, oops, rewind. Okay, keep going.
Yep.
Lifesaver.
We also have a lot of alignment features on the scanner. We mentioned before that you can align, the scanner automatically lets you change from the 38 cross lines to the 7 laser cross lines. And what that means is that you can actually align the data that have different point cloud resolutions. They have different resolutions. And you can align that together into one project. If you're scanning something large that you don't need 0.2 millimeter resolution on, you can actually scan most of it in, say, 1 millimeter resolution, 1.5, And then for the important areas that you want higher detail, you can switch to the 7 laser line mode and scan that area in 0.2 millimeter resolution. And then you have a file that is both 1 millimeter and then 0.2 in those specific areas. Another important feature to the scanner is the capability to capture color.
Oh yeah, color scanning is huge.
Yeah.
I remember the old days, like the Pro series, the old Pro series, you get this color pack, you had to add it on, it was like $700, and then it was low res. It didn't even look that great. Like it was color, which was good for some engineering purposes and great for miniatures.
Yep.
But then the H2 came out with that higher megapixel camera, and we started seeing beads of sweat on people's foreheads in the scan data, which was great. Is this going to give us a similar capability?
Similar capabilities. So there's a 5 megapixel color camera on the Rigil here. You can scan in color with the laser scan mode now. So that's something that is...
Yes, this came out on the Libre, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. That is something that, I mean, we thought it was impossible, but obviously it's just a timing thing, right?
Yeah. So the HX2 doesn't have it, the Libre has it, and now the Rigil has it.
Sweet, okay. Full color scanning in IR or in laser mode.
Yeah.
It's just extra data no matter what you're doing.
Exactly.
So you get a high-res scan with color.
Yeah.
Ah.
And it's really helpful to reference the color for a lot of things. If you're scanning a person, it's nice to reference, you know, some of the wrinkles that might not show up in the scan, or the pores, skin pores, stuff like that, or the eyebrows, stuff like.
Yeah.
And then for a mechanical part, you can reference, you know, the wear of the material more too.
So like a giant bearing, you'll see the metallic, but you also see the wear lines within that. Or
So some things you can't capture in the point distance or the resolution, but you can capture in the color.
Fascinating. All right, so if you had to boil it down, if you're like considering on the fence for an H2 or an HX, this might be worth considering, but what would you say? What's like, you know, what's like the one killer application, the one huge reason where if you're thinking about it, just pull the trigger, buy this thing right now, it's perfect for you?
If you are scanning outside a lot and you're doing larger objects and you don't really care too much about having really high resolution or really high accuracy.
And let me define that, guys. Low resolution in this world is like 1 millimeter point distance.
Yeah.
That's like low resolution. So for an engine bay or a car, still more than you would need, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so high resolution, what are we talking? We're talking more like in the 20 to 40 micron point distance range, right? And this is metrology inspection, this is part validation, this is high level measurement, right?
Yeah. If you need higher resolution, the scanner can do that with the laser scan mode, and that's just something that is unique to laser scanners. They can capture very good high resolution. But most of the time, we're also scanning at 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, even 3 millimeter resolution. If you can imagine that, I mean, if you were to use a tape measure, or if you were to use a CMM, you're taking single points across an object. And how many are you getting in total? You're getting like 10 or 20 measurements, 100 at the max. With the scanner, you're getting thousands, millions of points, measurement points. So you don't really need 0.2 millimeter or like 40, you know, that's level of resolution. It's overkill. So for the scanner, again, it's like if you are going outside, scan within 5 to 10 minutes, you're done, and you can come back.
Nice. All right. We're going to be putting this thing through its paces, actually right now and in the future. So make sure you subscribe to see as we're going to do some, specifically we want to do head-to-head comparisons with the HX2 and the H2 to see that data difference, to see really what's going on so people can make an informed decision. But also, let's just go scan some stuff. We're going to go scan some things and do some application videos. So take a moment and write in the comments below what type of object and what scenario, outside, inside, small, enclosed space, what do you want to see scanned? To to put this thing through its paces. Just take a moment, throw a comment down there, and of course, like and subscribe if you enjoy it and want to see more of it. But other than that, you can go to visionminer.com and pick up your very own Rigil right now. Like say it is at the time of the release of this video, there is limited stock, so the pre-orders are going to go quick, but depending if you're seeing this a year from now, we probably got them in stock ready to go. So just give us a call or shoot us an email if you have any questions. We are here to help you. Any closing thoughts?
We want to point out that if you do purchase the Rigil within the first month from June to July, you are getting a free accessories box worth $400, which is filled with marker dots, marker cubes, marker rods, everything that makes it easy to capture those complex mechanical parts. So,
yep.
Order soon.
Nice. You will also get some of our scanning markers, and at Vision Miner we always give away some of the scanning sprays. So you're going to literally have everything you need and all that extra stuff if you get it in the first month. That's $400 worth of scanning accessories. Give us a call if you got any questions at all. Otherwise, just go to the link in the description below and buy yours now. Other than that, let's go scan some stuff.
Let's go.
Awesome. Great to see you, Eric. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next video.